Hi, everyone. I'm about to give you a presentation on my ground before growth. And let me get my share up. Give me just a moment. Okay. I hope everybody can see this. Everything's working well. We'll find out in a little bit. So in this presentation, I'd like to take you on a journey through 5 simple foundations that you can begin moving from overwhelm towards greater stability and momentum. These aren't about perfection or changing everything overnight. They're small, practical steps that almost anyone can begin using right away. So let's get started. My mission through Compass Your Purpose is to help people move from overwhelm to clarity. Thank you for investing in yourself today. You are worth it. Together, we'll explore why trying harder isn't always the answer. I'll share practical steps you can begin using immediately. My hope is that you'll leave with greater clarity and confidence. Have you ever felt like this? You're trying harder, but still feel stuck? Maybe you carry out the same routine every day and every week, yet it still doesn't feel like you're moving forward. You're exhausted from carrying responsibilities. Maybe you're taking care of everyone else before yourself. Maybe you're the manager of your household, scheduling appointments, organizing chores, grocery shopping, making sure everyone else is okay. Or maybe you're working full time while trying to manage a home and take care of yourself, leaving you with little time or energy and feeling guilty whenever you do make time for yourself. You know you need to make changes. You know something has to change, but there is so much conflicting information that you don't know what to do first. The harder you push yourself while running on empty, the more overwhelmed you become. Instead of gaining momentum, you often feel like you're falling further behind. Why trying harder isn't always enough. Sometimes we believe that if we try harder, we'll finally get ahead. But more effort doesn't always create better results. Sometimes it simply pushes us beyond our capacity. When you're overwhelmed, your body and mind naturally shift into survival mode. In that state, your physical and mental well-being begin to suffer. Survival mode makes clear thinking, healthy decisions, and lasting change much more difficult because so much of your energy is being used just to get through the day. That's why real lasting change begins by creating stability, not by pushing yourself harder. Why is grounding before growth so important? Growth is difficult without a stable foundation. Think about building a house. You wouldn't start with the roof. You begin with the strong foundation because everything else depends on it. Your health and our lives work the same way. Before lasting change can happen, your mind and body need a sense of safety and stability. When you're overwhelmed, our nervous systems shift into survival mode. In that state, we're focused on simply getting through the day, not creating lasting change. Before we ask ourselves to grow, we first need to help our body feel safe enough to grow. Grounding helps you think more clearly, make better decisions, and move towards your purpose. When your body becomes more regulated, your mind becomes clearer. You can think more logically, make healthier choices, and begin moving toward the life you truly want instead of simply reacting to whatever comes your way. Ground first, then growth. This is really the heart of everything we'll cover today. We don't have to force change. We create the conditions that allow change to happen naturally. That's why the next 5 foundations are so important. They're simple ways to begin creating that stability. Now let's look at the 5 foundations that can help you begin creating stability. The good news is that none of these are complicated. And in fact, you probably already know all of them. The challenge usually isn't knowing what to do. It's integrating these simple actions into everyday life. Together, these 5 foundations support both your body and your mind. Hydration helps your brain and body function well. Nourishing food provides the energy and building blocks your body needs. Rest allows your body and mind to recover and recharge. Movement improves circulation, reduces stress, and brings greater clarity. Calm breathing helps regulate your nervous system and brings you back into the present moment. I love some deep breathing and calming. Whenever I get stressed at work, I just take a few deep breaths and release, and I'm happy to move forward without any struggle. None of these require perfection. They simply require small, consistent choices repeated over time. Small, consistent actions create lasting change. Now let's take a closer look at each one, beginning with hydration. Before we talk about the 5 foundations individually, I want you to remember something. You don't have to change everything today. Real transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens through small, consistent choices repeated over time. First, know that you are worth the effort. Your health matters. Your well-being matters. And you deserve the same care that you freely give to other people. Second, choose one simple action you can take today. Not 10, not 20, just one. Small wins build confidence, and confidence creates momentum. Next, decide what you're no longer willing to let hold you back. Maybe it's believing you don't have enough time. Maybe it's believing you have to be perfect before you begin. Or maybe it's believing everyone else deserves your care more than you do. Finally, show yourself the same compassion you would offer a friend. Most of us would never speak to a friend the way we speak to ourselves. What if you became your own greatest supporter instead of your harshest critic? And remember, progress, not perfection, creates momentum. Now let's begin with the first foundation. This is Nami. She's a cute mess. Whenever I open a case of water and take a few bottles out to put in the refrigerator, Nami claims the inside of the case so she can oversee all the kitchen activity. She'll just curl up in it, sit there, and look adorable as she does in this photo. She seems to think she's in charge. But there's actually a reason I wanted to share this picture with you. Whenever she realizes it or not, every time I walk by and see her sitting there, I'm reminded to ask myself, have I had enough water today? Have I drank enough water? Hydration is one of the simplest things we can do for our health, and yet it's one of the easiest things to overlook. Our brains and bodies depend on water to function well. Even mild dehydration can affect our energy, our focus, our mood, our health, and even our decision-making. The wonderful thing is that drinking more water doesn't have to be complicated. It's simply another small choice we can make that supports our overall health. And remember, we're not looking for perfection. We're building momentum through small, consistent choices. Now, let's talk about the foundation number 2, nourishing foods. For many years, I believed food was simply something that filled me up. Today, I look at it very differently. I see food as information. Every bite sends signals to my body. Those signals can either support my health or make it harder for my body to function the way it was designed. That doesn't mean we have to eat perfectly. In fact, trying to eat perfectly often leads people to become discouraged and give up altogether. Instead, focus on making small improvements. Maybe it's adding one more serving of vegetables. Maybe it's choosing water instead of soda. Maybe it's preparing one healthy meal at home this week. Those small choices begin to add up. When possible, foods that are closer to the way nature created them. The less processing, the more nutrients your body has available to work with. And I want to leave you with one thought that has really helped me. Every healthy meal is another vote for the person you're becoming. Not because you're trying to earn your worth, because you are already worth caring for. This is my son Russell and me. We were simply taking a few minutes to lay in the grass, relax, and enjoy the moment. It was more than a few minutes. We actually slept there for about an hour. It's funny because my husband George always worries the neighbors are going to think something terrible happened to us. But Isn't that interesting? We've become so uncomfortable with simply resting that seeing two people lying peacefully in the grass seems unusual. This leads to something many of us struggle with: rest. Somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that resting meant we were being lazy, but that's simply not true. Rest is where your body repairs, restores, and recharges. Without enough rest, it's much harder to think clearly, solve problems, make healthy decisions, or manage stress. When we're well rested, we respond differently to life. We have more patience, more clarity, more resilience. Quality sleep isn't just about feeling less tired tomorrow. It's one of the greatest gifts we can give our brain and body every single day. And I want to leave you with this thought: rest is not a reward for productivity. It's one of the foundations that makes productivity possible. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is give yourself permission to rest. Foundation 4, movement. Our bodies were designed to move. That doesn't mean you have to join a gym or run a marathon. Sometimes movement is as simple as taking a walk around your neighborhood, stretching in your living room, or spending a few minutes outside. Movement increases circulation, helps wake up your brain, and often gives you more energy instead of taking it away. I chose this family photo because it reminds me that movement doesn't have to be something that you do alone. You can walk with your spouse, your children, a friend, or even your dog. I even take my tortoise out for a walk. I just put him down and I follow him. And he is very active. And I have to make sure I catch him before he gets too far. Sometimes the conversation you have while walking is just as healing as the walk itself. Small amounts of movement every day are much more powerful than doing an intense workout once in a while and then giving up because it wasn't sustainable. Remember, we're not chasing perfection. We're creating a lifestyle. Every walk, every stretch, every small choice is another step towards becoming the person you want to be. Foundation 5, calm breathing. When I took this picture, he was panting pretty heavily after playing outside. This is Caesar. I gave him some water. I sat down beside him, gently petted him, and spoke to him in a calm, quiet voice. As I slowed down, he slowed down. His breathing gradually became calmer. It reminds me how connected we are, not just with animals, but with each other. If you've ever been around someone who is anxious or upset, you may have noticed that your own body starts to tense up. The opposite can happen too. Calm can be shared. That's one reason many coaches, counselors, healthcare providers begin by taking a few slow breaths with the people they're working with. It helps everyone settle into a present moment. The wonderful thing is that your breath is always with you. You don't need special equipment. You don't need an hour of free time. Sometimes just taking 3 slow, intentional breaths are enough to remind your nervous system, I'm safe. I can slow down. And from that calmer place, it's much easier to make healthy choices. Small steps, lasting change. We've covered a lot together today. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this presentation, is that you don't have to change everything overnight. Real transformation rarely happens because of one huge decision. It happens because of 100 of small choices made consistently over time. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. Maybe your first step is drinking 1 glass of water. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk. Maybe it's going to bed 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's simply taking 3 slow, intentional breaths before you react to a stressful situation. Every healthy choice you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. Remember, progress, not perfection, is what creates momentum. You are worth the effort. I believe in your ability to make these changes, one small step at a time. So as I wrap up this presentation, I'd like to add, let's stay connected. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this presentation has reminded you that lasting change doesn't begin with doing more. It begins with creating a stable foundation, taking one small step at a time, and remembering that you are worth caring for. If today's message resonated with you, I'd love to continue the journey with you. You're welcome to visit my website, explore my articles and resources, or reach out if you have questions or would like to work together. Whether we ever meet in person or not, I hope you'll remember one thing. Small, consistent choices create lasting transformation. And above all, you are worth the effort. Thank you again for being here, and I hope our paths cross again soon. Thank you.